Hey Clashers, we're going to try hard as much as possible for this season, and for doing so, we obviously want to take advantage of still the event troops. The army has not really changed much. We have overall pretty much the same equipment, but the big game changer here, or something you should always use, is the epic equipment. The giant gauntlet is just so important because there is a really big bug in the game which is pushing the balance really quite a bit in your favor. Otherwise, queen equipment, warden equipment, nothing changes really too much. And I will show you in just a second what exactly I mean with this barbarian king bug. Army staying the same, and right now a lot of people are having a lot of problems with box spaces. So maybe we'll find some of those and I can show you exactly how to approach them. Okay, first base should be a pretty classic one. It's like always all about like laying out your plan early on, because knowing and seeing this base at this point in the core, we have so much damage shooting at my troops, which means we have to save the heal and warden ability to this point, which then is going to make the push through that core way easier. If we can make that work, that is super crucial. So always make sure that you have this in mind. As well on this one, because the funneling is not as expensive as overall time expensive, you can start in the middle. So like 4 in the middle. Then like obviously all of the heroes, everything. Then you can on the flanks use the ice golems, the funnel, everything going, looking good. Make sure that you put some in there. And then make sure that you're supporting the funneling troops with some of those frost spell. Then at this point we just wait. We invest one more at some point for the eagle and for the monolith. And then, exactly as I said, we're just waiting and then investing the heal when it's necessary with that core, which I feel like at this point might be a good idea. Let's freeze that, and then we're going to rage in the core, because exactly as I said, the most crucial thing is to get through that town hall compartment as quickly as possible. Town hall should go down, warden ability perfectly timed, royal champion on the outside, clean up mini P.E.K.K.A. already behind, and at this point we can just non-stop freeze the back end. Freeze, freeze, and I have told you I will talk about a really significant game-breaking bug at the moment, where it's combining the king and the warden. So you can tell, I will wait for a second so the king is taking as much damage as possible. If you use the king ability, and at some point, it does not matter when it was. It could be at the beginning of the attack, could be at the end, does not matter. If the king was at some point inside the warden ability, you use the king ability, instead of having like 40 or 60 damage reduction, it's 100%. So you can kind of think about this as the king is saving a second warden ability for himself. But this only works with the epic, with the giant gauntlet, which is, as I said, it's really crazy. It's really insane. It's not intended, obviously, because this would make the interaction, everything way too good. But it is right now in the game, and you can't really avoid it with this strategy, because you're just putting everything into the middle. And I mean, that's kind of how it is, right? So as long as you have your king in the warden ability at some point, you're good to go, and it makes this already broken strategy even stronger. Next base, this is one of those box bases where people are just like mindlessly spamming everything in, but it's all about the pathing, okay? So going from the right side, that's what we're going to do. If you take a look at the pathing, everything forces everything through that core. With this dead zone right here, this can mess things up, but because of this non-defensive building, we should be able to make this possible. And especially because most people are just used to spamming everything in here, but with how the defenses are spread out, it's really tough to make that work. So now let me show you how that works. You have to be really quick with this one. So just like that, everything in, like this, like that as well. Looking good. Freeze that once, then heal early on. Really important. Make sure that you're healing your troops. Thing is said, not going perfectly as planned, but it's okay. You can add your royal champ really early as well. That's quite nice to have everything going. Make sure that you keep adding those mini P.E.K.K.A. and make sure that you keep freezing everything so your royal champ is staying alive. The king is coming back at some point. We can just rage everything up if we want to. Let's use the warden ability. We can just keep freeze everything. Let's use the rage just for that royal champ, because remember, it's all about creating that pathing and funneling and stuff like that. So that's exactly what we're doing right now. Royal champ, keep going. You can just keep supporting her with spells, because we don't really need it later on for the town hall and stuff like that, in my opinion. That's what we'll keep freezing. Town hall, we can just freeze it once if we want to. That should be alright as well. Let's do it once. Where's my royal champion? I can't see her. Oh, she went that side. Okay, that's not that good, to be honest. I was expecting her to go somewhere different. But hey, it should be alright. Should be alright. Always keep, if possible, some of those mini P.E.K.K.A to the back end. On this one, I've messed that up, maybe. I've maybe messed it up. But hey, in the end, on this attack, most of the time you can swag something. Sometimes the spell, sometimes some troops. It's like, as long as you don't go brainless into the attack, and don't really care about the pathing of the defenses, because that's in the end the most crucial thing with this strategy. It's all about the pathing of your root riders and what compartments they're opening, okay? And if you have the pathing set up, kind of versus this base with pushing everything through the core, that's exactly what we did, right? We pushed everything through the core because we saw those non-defensive buildings have forced us exactly in that direction, and then with the early Royal Champion, we pushed everything into the Town Hall, and because of that, we can like swag a spell, swag hero abilities, whatever we want, and that's kind of how you do attack those box bases. Make sure where are the defenses, make sure that you're knowing what are the most important spots to take down, and how to approach this, where to use the spells and so on, and you're good to go. And that's exactly what we did. Let's keep going. We have another box base. Okay, on this box base, let's take a look at the pathing, or like overall the setup. We have a lot of damage on the flanks. Like if we would go in from that eagle, we have just so much damage on the flanks, it's crazy. I'm not sure if we can somehow manage that. So on things like that, you should be able to just, well, enter into one of those scatters. That should be possible for sure, and I think that's what we're going to do on this one as well. Because you have normally those spring traps at those open corners, that's why we're not going to use an ice golem there, because it would be just wasted. But there should be none over here, because that's not a typical entry, right? So that's what we're going to try to abuse. So like this, then 1, 2, then like 1, 2 like here, few of those, and we're adding everything here, just like that. We have a freeze here. We'll keep adding stuff up there. There was one of those spring traps I've told you about, but that should be no problem now with our entry, making sure everything looks great. We get those out, and you can again add the Royal Champ early on if you have, and that's the important thing, if you have the Invis pet. It's such a big game changer, it's crazy, and I can just highly recommend this to pretty much anyone out there. Let's raise them up. Warn ability now to heal everything back up. And I think we're looking really, really incredible good. Support your Royal Champ with a lot of spells. Like, don't worry. If your Invis pet is staying alive, you are looking great. The Town Hall will go down eventually. That's no problem. That's no problem at all. We have the King ability. We can freeze that now to support that Queen. We can have one. I kind of expect that we have some traps there. So that's kind of the downside, but hey, it should be alright. Let's freeze that. The Queen is slowly making her way to the Town Hall. Let's freeze that. Can still use the Queen ability. Town Hall is even reachable, I don't know, but yeah, I take that. Whatever. And we can again swag a couple of spells, and I told you, like, it's as long as you're taking care of the pathing and the damage management and everything, you're looking completely good versus those bases. In the end, let's not swag too much, because I still want to 3-star. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to take too many risks, even though I feel like at this point there is no risk. But hey, whatever. Let's put that in there. Royal Champ ability now to take down the last couple of defense, and that should be it. Nice 3-star for us. And another base completely crushed with a nice little swag right there. I see so many people failing versus those box bases, and I'm just confused, because they're always going with this default option, like just from the eagle in, don't think about it. Like, you have to think about the strategy at least a little bit, not much, but a little bit, and about where the defenses are. And if you do that, have fun with non-stop 3-stars, endless 3-stars actually. Well, I don't know, like, this base seems to be really popular. It's again all about the pathing, which I told you with this setup as well. You have non-defensive building here and a non-defensive building here, which is super crucial for your pathing into the middle. I already explained the pathing, so we're just going to do everything. The only thing you have to be is really, really quick, because you still need to do the funnel and stuff, okay? So let's try to do that again. So, let's get everything right. Raise that here. One freeze there. Now the heal. Again, early Royal Champ. There's a witch in there. That's interesting. That's fine. Let's see how the troops are going to path and everything. Can use the warn ability in any second if we want to. Let's raise this time for the core. I think that's better than compared to the Royal Champion. I think that's better this time. And just freeze this time here and there. Looking good. And freeze the town once if we want to. Let's freeze that instead for now. King ability. That's another thing. Like, this king ability bug is just mind-blowing strong for this strategy. It's kind of stupid, not gonna lie. I mean, this makes this strategy just so much better than it could be. Let's put it that way. But having always this tanking king for the back end is just, I don't know. It's a bit questionable, okay? Just the queen ability quickly for that town hall. And this means again a couple of swag spells. Let's go. Nice. Oh, and a mini pack still left. Let's have a nice 3-star. Now the question is, where am I at right now? Because last season I had actually one of the highest hit rates when it comes down to success rate on offense. But just my defense was bad, which is really frustrating because right now it's all about just being lucky, it feels like. I had bases in where other people had like crazy defenses. I had as well the same base in as this one. And take a look at that. It's just pure luck. I find people on defense which are not considering those things I have told you about in this video. In my first attack, I have talked too much in the German video. You can check that out as well if you want to. And I've messed up the middle part. So as long as the attacker is not messing up, you can't fail with this. And this feels a bit weird and really frustrating as well when you're talking about defense. So, yeah, last season, let's not talk about that. This season, though, is looking good so far. Rank 11, rank 1 in Germany, which is quite nice. But hey, it's still a long way. It's overall a long season, which is 32 days still left. Well, let's see how far we can make it on this one. I'm quite excited, and I will switch obviously the strategy then to something different as soon as the event is over. Let me know what strategies you would like to see me playing. I have already a favorite, which I will tell you then a bit later, but for now I want to see what your ideas are, what I should play in Legends. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next video. Until then, see ya, and bye-bye.